All right, guys. We got a good show every day. We have Justin Jaworski. He's on the summer league team for the Atlanta Hawks. Before that, he played for Lafayette. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
So I have to ask, coming out of high school, you played like football and basketball. I saw you had like 20 or 30 football offers, but you turned them all down, hoping, to play basketball. How did you kind of deal with that uncertainty of like waiting for your first offer?
Yeah, for me, it was tough. I knew I wanted to play basketball. I could have easily taken the football offers, but I thought I wouldn't have been happy doing that. I didn't enjoy putting time into football like I do basketball. So, I mean, that part of it was easy for me. I knew I wanted to play basketball, but in terms of waiting for the offers, it was tough because I felt like I was outplaying all these guys, and then I would see them get offers and not me. So seeing that was really tough, but I just kind of kept holding out, hoping the right opportunity would come. And then luckily Lafayette came along really late in the process, and everything else kind of handled itself.
Yeah, you talked about it. Lafayette approached you pretty late. I saw like your first offer was like March of your senior year. How did they go about approaching you, and why was that the right fit for you?
Yeah, so funny story is Lafayette recruited me my junior year too,
Okay.
and then just stopped. I didn't hear from the coaches for like 5 months, and then they started like calling me again in like December, January. So when they finally offered me, I knew I was committing to Lafayette right away, but I decided to take my visit to American just to kind of like make them wait like they made me wait.
Yeah.
So that's just a funny story I always like to talk to our coaches about. But um, I don't know, man. Like it was close to home. I really didn't have any. I had two options, so it was Lafayette or American, but it was close to home. The deciding thing for me was when I took my visit, playing pickup with the guys. I played really well there. I felt like my game matched what they did, like what the kind of the whole structure of the offense and stuff. So really everything just kind of worked out perfectly. Where even though they came along so late, it was the perfect fit for me.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I've been doing this and I've talked, NFL players, different people, they all come from different colleges, but you and me were actually going, the same college, which is kind of funny for the same thing. Like with me, I felt like it was hard, with COVID, a lot of the schools are cutting programs and they have like a very strong, athletics program with, boosters and different things. So they're going to keep it. And, just the campus was, very nice and the culture they build there. So, that was funny. So you obviously go through like first few years of college, and your junior year you started to like pick up a lot of traction, but you had ACL surgery, which was a pretty big setback. How did you keep like a positive mindset through that all?
It definitely wasn't easy. And then, you talk about I tear my ACL, we lose in the playoffs, and then everything gets shut down with COVID too.
Hmm.
So like there's just a lot of uncertainty throughout that whole thing. But for me, it was just kind of like embrace it as a new challenge. So normally I'm in the gym every day. I love putting time into that. So I thought, let me just take all of that energy and I'll put it all into my rehab. And it just became like a new challenge for me. So like as much as it sucked, I kind of enjoyed being challenged like that. And I feel like I came out better on the other side. Like I feel like I'm stronger now. I feel like I'm more athletic. And like mentally I feel like I'm much, much better, like much stronger, much more resilient just from kind of going through all that and coming out on the other side better.
Yeah. The basketball team this year, I watched a bunch of the games. I know me and my friends did. The thing that sucked is guys you experience like multiple postponements, cancellations of games. How did you guys, work through, some of those things and keep going toward the goal and improving as a team and as a player?
Yeah, I think we were just happy to play at that point. Ivy League gets shut down, and I feel like Patriot League kind of copies the Ivy League in that sense a lot. So just being able to play was great for us. We ended up playing Loyola 6 times,
Yeah.
so that was what it was. But we were just happy to play. Whoever you were lining us up against, sometimes we would find out who we're playing that Friday and we play them Saturday. But like at that point, we just wanted to play. We felt grateful that we were getting that opportunity, and obviously it wasn't ideal. No fans, Saturday, Sunday games, but it was cool just to, at least to get that opportunity to play. Got 16 games in or whatever, so better than what some people could say.
No, and you got to play against Santi. You just got drafted, the first round. Get some good exposure for yourself. I imagine scouts probably came and to see both you guys. I have to ask, over the course of your college career, where was the favorite place you ever played, and what was your favorite moment?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. Um, Probably the coolest atmosphere would probably be Rutgers. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously they beat us up a little bit, but just like seeing that sold out stadium was really cool. I mean, their fans are really rough, and a lot of it was directed towards me. But
Yeah,
so that was pretty cool for me to experience. But favorite place, it's definitely the St. Joe's game. I mean, we were going into that game like huge underdogs. We ended up winning by 20 plus. I mean, sold out stadium by halftime. Half of it was empty. Half of it was Lafayette fans by the end. So
yeah.
that was definitely probably my favorite moment, was beating up on them my junior year.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I wonder if something goes through your mind. You had like the fifth longest 3-point streak in like a 1 3-pointer game. Did you ever think about that at all, or did it ever cross your mind or no?
No, that's just the way I play. I mean, I shoot a lot of threes. I mean, I feel like I said it a bunch of times, but I feel like coming out of college, I was the best 3-point shooter in the country, and I still feel that way. I'm
Uh-huh.
kind of trying to take that into the NBA side of things too. But I mean, I never really thought about it. I feel like I shoot enough threes where I should be making at least one of them. So
All right, yeah. So when did you start to realize that professional basketball was something you could do for a living and everything?
yeah, I mean, that's been the dream since I started playing. Was once I found out there was like the like plan B option in Europe, like I felt like, I can always do that. But I mean, really, the NBA side of things, like that's all obviously always been the dream, but like it's a pretty long shot to do it. But like getting this opportunity to come to the summer league has been great. I mean, hopefully I can play my way into a training camp invite and see what happens. But like the dream has always been there, but like especially for the NBA side of things, it's really just kind of all happened so fast.
Yeah, I will, jump in, a couple questions in advance. So, is the goal right now like an exhibition 10 contract where you can, go to training camp and play G League and eventually work to a two-way? Or what's like the goal right now for you?
No, 100%. So I mean, it's actually I thought I was going to sign an Exhibit 10 with the Thunder like last week, like mid last week. And the day I thought I was going to sign it, they ended up signing somebody else. And then I signed with Atlanta to come to the summer league. So obviously no Exhibit 10 there. Not as great of an opportunity, but I still get the chance to go play,
Uh-huh.
like go prove myself, try to play my way into one. So like absolutely after the summer league, like best case scenario, we get a two-way. That's really tough to do. So if we can get an Exhibit 10, get invited to training camp, that would be great. And then just kind of work my way from there. Just because that's been my whole life anyway, is just kind of hoping to get one opportunity and then making the most of that opportunity. So we'll see what happens, but that's the goal there.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And it's, great to see, someone like you. It gives hope to a lot of people, in certain situations, you don't have to go to Ohio State or all these, big schools to, make it, it doesn't matter. So, the pre-draft process, you worked out with like the 76ers, said the Thunder, the Timberwolves, the Hawks, what was going through that like, and, what were some things, you take away from that?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty crazy because they'll call you on Monday and say, "Hey, we need you here Wednesday for a workout." So it happens really fast. So you're kind of just working out all the time, kind of waiting for phone calls. So I mean, getting four of them was great. Some guys do like 15 of them. So getting four was great, but obviously I'm not getting as many opportunities as other people. So for me, it was just like, look, I don't know how many of these I'm gonna get, so I need to like really, really take advantage of this. And I thought I played really well in all of them. The Sixers one was probably my best one. I shot the ball really, really well.
Mhm.
And ironically, the Hawks was probably my worst one. But I think they liked what I did outside of just making shots, like in terms of competing, stuff like that. So it was good that they valued me outside of just like making shots.
hmm So, I had a question, I haven't been able to talk to somebody, that, did the summer league. How does like teams go about reaching out, for you to play for their like summer league team? How'd the Hawks do that for you?
Yeah, so like right when the draft ends, they start making phone calls. They call your agent, they do all this stuff. So like my agent called me at 2 a.m. on draft night, like or the next morning. but I was asleep. So then he called me the next day and was like, "Yo, we have 4 summer league offers. Like, here they are." Like, the Thunder seemed like the surefire option, like I said, with the Exhibit
Yeah.
10. Obviously, that falls through. So then I had Atlanta, I had Houston, and I would have had Philly, but we just didn't really take that phone call at that point because they
Yeah.
just wanted me as like a backup. So it was Houston or Atlanta. We felt Atlanta, I kind of fit their system more. There's more opportunity to play there. So that's kind of how we made that decision.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Very interesting to hear. So, well, you've talked about, everything crazy, like getting 2 a.m. phone calls and different things. What's it like being in Las Vegas right now? How are you adjusting like this new lifestyle and everything?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I want. I mean, if I can be flying to different cities every day on an NBA team, like that's the dream. But I mean, right now I haven't really got to experience anything in Vegas. We're having 2 practices a day. We got team meetings and stuff, so it's been really busy. But I mean, it's been great getting to travel, kind of getting to see a bunch of new places, meeting a lot of different people. So it's definitely been a really cool experience for me.
Yeah. Final few questions. So, right now, like during this time, what do you think you're working on, to improve yourself as a player right now?
Yeah, so the NBA is interesting because like think about it, like 90% of NBA players are role players. So you
Mhm.
have your stars and then you have people that complement their games. So for me, I'm gonna make money shooting the basketball, obviously, making threes, like scoring off the closeouts, things like that. But just for me to become like a more complete player, being able to create for others off
Mhm.
the bounce, stuff like that. Obviously getting stronger, more athletic, just because these guys are freaks, they're huge. So but I mean, really like play within my game, make shots, do all that stuff, and then just kind of try to branch off with the ball handling stuff and like strength and agility too.
Yeah, it's very interesting to hear about how everything changes over the course of time. So, growing up, did you look up to any current or even former players, model your game after anybody?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I love Steph Curry, like he's my favorite.
Hmm.
But in terms of like modeling my game after people, the two would probably be JJ Redick and his brother Seth Curry,
Yeah.
just because they're both undersized 2 guards, but they find a way to score, moving without the ball, like reading screens, reading their defenders, obviously great shooters. So I feel like that's kind of like a role that I can fill in the NBA with if I get that opportunity. So definitely just watching those guys, the way they operate, being efficient, things like that is where I kind of see myself fitting into the professional side.
Yeah. We always finish off with these final 2 questions. So, over the course of your career, what's the best piece of advice anyone's ever told you?
Um, I mean, for me, my favorite thing, people always talk about like hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. I mean, just for me, like I don't have God given athleticism. Like I got 6'2", which is like taller than most people, but it's definitely not tall by any
Yeah.
means for NBA things. But I feel like I outwork a lot of people. Like I spend a lot of time in the gym. Like I take the whole process really seriously. So I feel like I'm the perfect example. Like a lot of people started out at a higher level than me, but I feel like I've worked my way into that category and I feel like I belong on this level.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. We always do that because a lot of people who watch the show are like high schoolers, up and coming, and if you ever listen to what people said, you'd never get to where you are. So this one is a hard one. We always ask, how do you want people to remember yourself when your basketball career is over?
Yeah, I would probably just say somebody that got like the absolute most out of what they could do. So I mean, I don't want to ever have to look back and say like I could have did this better or I wish I put more time into this. I just want it to be like, you know what, he did everything that he possibly could have did with his situation, like with his athleticism, with his size, all this different stuff. Just that I got the most out of my career that I could have possibly done. Like I left no stone unturned, no stone unturned. I left nothing on the table. Like I just want to put everything out there and see what happens.
Yeah, Justin, I appreciate you coming on, man. It means a lot to me, and I know a lot of other people. So thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.